guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Learn to Sew with Nani. Guys, thank you so much for all you've been doing on this channel. Thank you for your likes, thank you for your shares, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, please share, subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Alright, so today I bring us another video on how to make a princess that bustier, and I've realized it's one thing that gives a lot of issues to new designers or even designers in general. Okay, so I have a video on making the princess that bustier, but I think drafting it on the pattern is going to make it easier and also clear enough for us to see properly. And I have a few twists, a few things I added to it just so that it could be easier and simple enough. Okay, so that being said, like I said initially, I wouldn't be working on a fabric, and this is just going to be a cotton tutorial. The reason is because of the stay at home, the lockdown whole issue, and I promise us that once I get out of the house, I would be able to transfer these patterns to the fabric and also show us how to pad and how to sew them. All right, so let's get started. For the princess that bustier we're working on is going to be a half scale princess that bustier, and what I mean by a half scale is just going to be from the shoulder to the half length. Okay, so I would have written the measurements on the board, but I prefer to write them on paper so that we can see. Alright, so the shoulder I'm working with is 15, the bust circumference is 40, the underbust circumference is 32, the waist circumference is 35, the bust span is 7 inches, the bust point is 10 inches. That's from the shoulder to the bust point, or the nipple point, the shoulder to the nipple point. Okay, I hope you understand that so it doesn't get confusing. From the shoulder to the top of your nipple, that is where you measure your bust point. Okay, then the bust span is the nipple to nipple measurement. Some people call it the breast distance, nipple to nipple bust span, but it's professionally called the bust span. Okay, you don't want to use nipple to nipple, it sounds crude. Then the underbust length, that's from the shoulder to the underbust to the tip, or where you touch that bra wire or the underbust, that is where you take that measurement. And then the half length is 17 inches. Okay, so I want to impute the vertical measurements now. So I just start by making a starting point. So this keeps happening. Because of the whole lockdown issue, I actually forgot to change my ink, my pens. Okay, so this is my starting point. Okay, then we said the bust point is 10 inches. So this is 10 inches. The underbust is 14 inches, the underbust length. So this is 14 inches here. Then the half length is 17 inches plus half inch that you would use to tip or join it to whatever you'll be making as the full blouse. You can use a peplum, box pleat, gathers, pleats, or whatever you decide. Okay, so having marked the measurements, this becomes the shoulder line, this is the bust point, this is the underbust, and this is the half length plus seam allowance. I want to bring it closer in case you're not saying that. Shoulder, bust point, underbust, half length, and the seam allowance. So The next thing you need to derive is the chest line, and the chest line is derived by dividing your bust measurement by 6, then you add 1.5 inches to it. So this is, my bust is 40, what I'm working with. So I've divided by 2 first. Okay, I'm dividing by 4 now. So divided by 6 should give me around 7 or thereabout, 6 or thereabout. Okay, so I'm trying to work with 8 inches as my chest line. Okay, so the chest line is 8 inches. So like I said, the chest line is your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 2 inches. And another method is to divide your armhole circumference by 2. Okay, so I decided to make it 8 inches because the round armhole I'm working with is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. Okay, so either way it works. Now this is the chest line. Let me also extend that line out. So this is the chest line. Okay, so let's start imputing the measurements. The shoulder we're working with is 15. 15 divided by 2 gives us 7.5. Now remember, I'm working on a pattern. Okay, so if you're working directly on your fabric, it means your fabric is going to be folded into 2. Okay, and the amount of fabric to fold into 2 is your bust measurement divided by 4 plus at least 4 to 5 inches. Okay, so I have 40 as a bust measurement, divided by 4 would give me 10 plus an additional 5 inches because of we're making a princess dart bustier. So because of the dart intake and the dart replacements and the seam allowance. Okay, so all of those dart intake and the replacements would at least cost us about 5 inches. So to be on the safer side, you can work with 5 to 6 inches if you have enough fabric. All right, so like I said, the shoulder measurement is 15 divided by 2 gives us 7.5. So 7.5 is at this point. All right, so I'll just leave the shoulder measurement for now and work on the bust span. So the bust span measurement is 7 inches. Now whatever you have as a bust span, you're going to add 1 inch seam allowance to it. So the bust span is 7 inches plus 1 inch gives us 8. Now because your pattern is supposed to be on fold, or because if you're working in your fabric is going to be on fold, we divide that by 2. So 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. All right, so it's the same as dividing the bust span, which is 7 by 2, then adding ½ inch allowance. So the bust span is 7 inches divided by 2 gives us 3.5 plus ½ inch allowance, and that is 4. Is the same as adding 1 inch to your bust span, that is 7 plus 1, which is 8, then divide by 2. It still gives us the same 4 inches. So on the bust point, that's on the bust point now, I am marking that 4 inches. All right, then on the under bust, whatever you have on your bust point, you're going to take away ½ inch from that. So on the bust point I have 4 inches. It means that on the under bust I would have 3.5, and whatever you have on the under bust, you also mark the same thing on the half length. So that is what I have there. So I've imputed the dart line, the first dart line. All right, so after imputing these lines, we hold on to that. Then because we'll be making a princess dart, you're going to add an extra 2 inches to your shoulder measurement. Okay, so I'm adding that extra 2 inches. So this is the 2 inches. Now this is not going to encroach into our shoulder measurement, so we'll cut it out. It's just to give us the style line for the princess dart. All right, so then we'll come down by so this is the shoulder line. So because it's a princess dart, we usually come down by 5 inches. So this is 5 inches, and also on this side we'll come down by 5 inches. So it means I'm just bringing this line to 5 inches. This is the 5 inches. Okay, so I want to indicate the 5 inches. So you can go ahead and choose whatever type of neck width or even the neckline you want. Remember, you're also going to slope your shoulder by 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just sloping it out. Remember, you can choose whatever type of neckline you want. I wouldn't be talking about necklines now because we are concentrating on the princess dart bustier. All right, so having done that, what we'll do is to connect these 5 inches we came down by. You know this mark I made here, we'll connect it to the bust point, to the under bust, and to the half length. Okay, so it goes this way. Okay, all right, so this is what it looks like. You could around this point, you could try to, you know, even it out so that it's more of a curve, you know, than a sharp line. All right, having done that, we need to start imputing the dance allowance. Okay, so that brings us to another piece of paper, and that is the underbust curve. That's what we're talking about now. So I have a video on my channel on how to derive your underbust dart. Okay, so that's if you want to go through that process now. But I also have compiled a list or the measurements I used for different sizes. So from bust 32 to 35, I used 1.5 inches as the bust underbust dart. From bust 36 to 41, 2 inches. 42 to 45, 2.5 inches. 46 to 50, 3 inches. Okay, then 50 and above. Okay, if you have a client whose bust is 50 inches and above, that's your very precise client, you please stick to using 3 inches, in most cases 3.5 if the bust is bigger than 53 to 55. Okay, you could use 3.5, but I also think you should stick to 3 inches, then use the bust dart to enhance the bust fullness. All right, this might sound confusing to people that don't know how to apply the bust dart and all of that. Okay, so in another video I'll teach us how to, you know, use the bust dart to create fullness around the bust area. Okay, so like I said, for 50 inches and above, you use 3 inches as the bust intake, as the bust dart, sorry, but also as the under bust dart. Okay, but also use the bust dart to enhance fullness. All right, so because we are working with bust 40, it means we'll be working with 2 inches as the under bust dart. 36 to 41 is 2 inches, so the bust measurement we're working with falls between this range, so we'll be working with 2 inches as the under bust dart. So I'll mark 2 inches from there on the under bust. Remember, whatever you have on the other bust is what you mark on the half length. So this is it. All right, now this is the bust point. Now on the bust point, because you don't want to have those sharp and pointy edges on the bustier, you can see there are some bustiers that when you make them, you now see that at the bust point it's pointy and poking out, so it actually doesn't look nice on your bustier. So what I do is to, on the bust point, to go up by 1 inch. Okay, you go up by 1 inch. This would help us start the curve from around here and eliminate that pointy edge. You can see at this point is this part is pointing, you know, this is where we made that curve. So if you keep your bust, if you start connecting your curve from here, it's going to give you this pointy edge I have here. So that is why you come up, and you can see this part, this line is not pointy at all. All right, so having said that, whatever you have as your bust intake, as the under bust intake, you're going to divide that by 2. So I have 2 inches here, so dividing that by 2 gives me 1 inch. So this is 1 inch. I'm going to take that up in a straight line. So it means I have 3 lines here: the dart line, the dart intake and dividing it by 2. You might be surprised as why I have this line. It's just to help us get a very suitable bust curve. Okay, you can see some of us draw curves. It's looking oval like an egg and all of those things, but you need a very suitable bust curve. So this line is going to help us achieve that, and it's going to help us achieve that by taking it up by 1 inch on from the under bust. Okay, so I'm taking it up by 1 inch. So this is 1 inch. This is the point. Okay, so we'll see how it's going to help us, you know, take that curve. So you connect this point to this point. Remember, we want to now draw the style line for the under bust or for the princess dart. Okay, we want to draw that, you know, curve that the princess dart takes. So this and this is going to help us get a very good curve for the princess dart and avoid those sharp edges. So I'm going to connect this to this, then this to this, then to this. Okay, so you can even start by, you know, connecting from here to this point. Okay, from here to here. Okay, like this. I didn't use a curve ruler, but it's already coming out nice. Then like this, so this, so this. Okay, so deciding to use my curve ruler, I'll still get the same effect. Okay. Then this to this. Okay, remember we went up by 1 inch, so you just place your ruler in your curve ruler in a way that this will touch this 1 inch we came up by. Okay, you can see. Then also make sure that this part is also connected to this part. So it's pretty easy if you have a curve ruler, but even if you don't have, you also see that I was able to make my curve. So right here you have a very suitable bust curve. All right, so we've taken care of the bust curve and all of that. So the next thing you need to do is just to impute your measurements. All right, so the bust measurement we're working with is 40 divided by 4 gives us 10. So I'm marking 10 inches on the chest line. Okay, this is 10 inches. Then remember, this is going to be taken out. Okay, this is going to be taken out. So we need to measure what we have there. And I have ½ inch, so I'm going to add that ½ inch back, just so that I don't have a shortage by the time I cut this out. Then you add your allowances. So I'll be adding 3 inches allowance. Now normally we always use 2 inches as our allowance, but remember that when I cut this out, I'll need ½ inch on this side and another ½ inch on this side to join these both sides together, and that will give us 1 inch. So that is why I'm adding 3 inches as my allowance. So this is 3 inches. Right, on the underbust, my underbust measurement is 32. 32 divided by 4 should give us 8 inches. So I'm marking 8 inches here. This is 8 inches plus 2 inches. Remember we took a dart of 2 inches there, so I'm going to replace the dart intake. That's the dart replacement. So this is 2 inches plus 3 inches seam allowance, like I explained for the top here. All right, so the waist is 35. Okay, so 35 divided by 2 will give us 8.75. So I'm marking 8.75 here. Remember we took the same 2 inches as the dart intake, so 2 inches dart replacement plus 3 inches allowance. Okay, then from here you just connect your armhole. can see the armhole. Okay, so that is it for your princess that bustier. Okay, then you could, so that I don't leave it out, choose your neck width to be 3.5 inches. So this is your neck width. Then you can choose the neck depth to be around 5 inches or 5.5, depending on how low or high you want the cuff, the neckline. So this is the neckline. So I want to, highlight all of those points. Okay, everything I used, I want to explain it. So this is 2 inches. Okay, this is 2 inches. Remember, work with what I have given us as the under bust curve. Okay, just work with it when you're making your own pattern. So I'm going to keep it a little longer so that we can take a look at it closely. 32 to 35, 1.5, 36 to 41, 2 inches, 42 to 45, 2.5, sorry, 46 to 50, 3 inches, 50 and above, still use 3 inches, but use your bust dart. Okay, so that is it. All right, so from here to here is 3, from here to here is 3 inches seam allowance. Okay, then here is 2 inches or whatever it is you'll be working with. Then from the bust point, remember this line is 1 inch. This is the symbol for inches. Okay, so here is 1 inch. Okay, here also is 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay, so in case you're wondering what I used, okay, so that is it on the princess that bustier. So I'm going to cut it out. So I'm cutting out the neckline. Shoulder slope. Okay, the armhole, then we'll cut through the darts. So this is the princess that you can see the suitable and sweet bust curve we have around here. So by the time you pad this, it's just going to give you the perfect princess that bustier. All right, so this is for the front. Then we work on the back now. So I'll be using this for the back. Then for the back, we need our zip allowance. So we'll be using 2 inches zip allowance. Okay, 2 inches. Then remember the starting point. Then the half length is 17.5. Then there's something I didn't mention on when we were drafting the front. Okay, so from this starting point, that is where you add your 1/2 inch allowance to your shoulder point. I didn't do that, so if this was my shoulder point, I would have just added 1/2 inch allowance to it. Okay, just add 1/2 inch to join the shoulder. Okay, so make sure you add that. I did this because it was a pattern. Okay, so when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'll make sure I add 1/2 inch allowance to it. Okay, so we also use chest line of 8 inches. So these are the two things you need for the back. Alright. Then the zip allowance. Okay, so what you do is to place this on it. Okay, so you place this on it and trace exactly what you have just for the center front. Okay, so you want to make sure you place everything accordingly. All right, then you trace it out. Okay, this part is easier because you just trace what you have on your center front. Okay, so here you choose whatever type of neckline. So you can decide to have a higher neckline for the back. Okay, all right, so we've traced the center front or the back part. Okay, so on this part, remember the 5 inches we came down by. Okay, on this part I'll just mark 1 inch, half inch from here to here. I'll mark 1/2 inch. So this is 1/2 inch. Okay, this is 1/2 inch. Then I'll connect it to the chest line. Remember, this is the chest line. I did not impute the underbust and the bust points here because we don't need it. We don't have bust at the back. So I'll just connect it to this point, the chest line. Okay, because the curve for this part, the back is the front is higher than that of the back. All right, so we just impute our measurements. The bust is 40 divided by 4 gives us 10. So this is 10. So by the time we cut this out, we needing 1 inch to join it on both sides. Then plus our number 2 inches seam allowance. That's the same thing we do for the front. Okay, so on the waistline, the waist is 35 divided by 4 gives us 8.75, which is here, plus 3 inches. Okay, now I want to connect the points. So this is our seam allowance. Then from here to here you connect for your armhole. You can choose to connect to the main bust measurement. Okay, or you just connect to this other point, whichever one still gives you your armhole. Alright, so this is it for the back. It's as easy as that. Now for the back, we always try to eliminate puff at the back so that your zipper area is not it's not puffy at the back. So there are 2 methods of eliminating back puff. Okay, so I'm also using this video as a method to show us, as a means to show us how to eliminate back puff. All right, so this is our back pattern. Okay, we've drafted the whole princess dart at the back. Now for the back, you could also decide to use your normal waist dart for your back, but if you want to use princess seam at the back, this is how to go about it. Alright, so now what you do is for the back, you either come up here by 1 inch or 1.5. You could even do as much as 2 inches, just so that you shorten this back part, okay? Because the front length and the back length is usually not the same thing. The difference is about 2 inches. By the time you measure your half length for the front and the back, you see that you have a difference, okay, because of the bust in front, okay, and there is no bust at the back. So the half length in front is usually longer than the half length at the back by at least 2 inches. So we just walk around. You could do 2 inches or 1.5, depending on how busty you are. So bust 40 is not so much of a big bust, so I'm working with 1.5. So by the time I take this out, okay, it would help me. Remember, this other side is still the same as that of the front, but this part will be shorter and it will help us eliminate the back puff. Now another method of doing that is to on this waistline go in by 1 inch. Okay, so this is 1 inch. I want to use a different color of pen so that we don't get confused. I hope this is working. Okay, it is. All right, so on the half length, you go in by 1 inch. Okay, so on this 1 inch, you just connect it to your chest line. Anyways, to the chest line, you go in words like this. Okay, then okay, so I'll add that 1 inch back, then connect to the chest line. Okay, so it depends on what you want. Okay, but note that you can't use the two together. You can't use them at the same time. So if I want to use this method, I'll cut, include this to my measurement. Then when we are cutting out the front pattern, I said I forgot to add something, and that is the allowance for the shoulder. So what I'm doing now is what you'd have done to the front. Okay, just add ½ inch as the allowance to join the shoulder. Okay, then you increase this part. Right. So having cut all these other parts, so if I want to use this red line, if I want to use this method of reducing the back puff, I'll cut through from this point to the edge here. Okay, but then if I want to use this method, it means I'll just cut out this part, and this becomes my new zip allowance. This red, from this black line now to this one, becomes my new zip allowance. Okay, so if I want to use this method, it means I'm cutting through like this. So this is my new zip allowance, then I'll cut through my pattern. Okay, but if I want to use this, I'll just cut through like this. So let's just say I want to make use of this. then you trim off this. So this is your princess dart for the back. You can see by the time you try to match it up, it matches. You can see. Then at this point you have up to that ½ inch we added. So the essence of adding going up by that ½ inch is just so that you don't have a shortage by the time you're joining. So this ½ inch down with what is the allowance that I would have used to join at this point. So you can see that it matches up. So if I hadn't added that one in that ½ inch, okay, my pattern would have been short by ½ inch here, and it won't match up to this point. Okay, so this is the princess dart for the back. Then for the front, so like I said, I've promised us that I'm going to be using this to transfer to my pattern, to my fabric, and show us how to pad and how to sew it when the lockdown issue is over. All right, so that is it on how to cut a princess dart bustier. Okay, so if you like this video or if you found it helpful, please like this video, give us a thumbs up, share it, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.